It's a little what's more likely for the two games to be played on Sunday. Let's begin with Buccaneers at Packers. What's more likely? Aaron Rodgers throws 3 or more touchdown passes or 1 or more interceptions.
Ooh,
Christopher.
Right. Well, we know that was the only game this year, right, that he threw multiple interceptions in. He almost threw half his yearly total in that game itself. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, has the most pressure on him this weekend over any other player that's playing. This is a big game for Aaron Rodgers. This is Tom Brady. He's on the Bucs. He's on a new team, and now he's going to get a chance to go to another Super Bowl. And you haven't been back to a second one yet. You know, you know how I view it, but that's the theme out there. And to me, this is a legacy type win that is definitely more important to Rodgers than Brady in the big scope of things, right? If Brady loses this, no one's going to really care. Everyone's going to go, this is an amazing year. Man, Brady at 43, they went to the NFC Championship game. They haven't been to the playoffs since 2007. He's already won the year. He's good. Rodgers is in that, oh, man, he's great, but it's a shame they've never made it to more than one Super Bowl with him. And, how great is he? He didn't win Super Bowls and all those type of things. I'm going to say, if you make me pick either one, I'm going to go 3+ touchdowns because I think he's going to be ultra careful with the football and realize legacy's on the line. He will not throw more than 1 interception. He might throw 1, but I don't think it's going to be more than that. I'm going to go 3 TDs there.
Yeah,
if you make me pick, I'm going to pick it.
Yeah, I agree with you because I think about that secondary. They're young.
Yeah.
You've got Devontae Adams. I don't know whether or not we're going to see that same Buccaneers defense that we saw in the second half. Is it going to make an appearance earlier than it did against the Saints? Is it going to be there from the get-go?
Right.
How is the cold going to affect them? But unless you get that Bucs defense in the zone that they were in, led by Devin White and also Antoine Winfield Jr., I think we're going to see Aaron Rodgers do Aaron Rodgers things. And, we're talking about that urgency that he's feeling as he tries to get to his second career Super Bowl. I was doing a little work last night on the officials lockout from 9 years ago, and what a mess that was. Once it ended, we kind of purged it out of our brains.
Right.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment for the NFL. It was one of the most embarrassing episodes of the last 20 years for the NFL. But when you look at the Hail Mary game, the Monday night, and I know it's impossible to do apples to apples, but you take away that loss that the Packers got that should have been a win, all other things equal, they get a bye that year. They get the divisional round game at home. Yeah, they had a lost year that you could trace directly to the officials' lockout. And if I was a Packers fan, I'd still be pissed about that. Sorry, London, 9 years later. All right, Buccaneers at Packers, another one. What's more likely, and this relates to the whole Aaron Rodgers dynamic, plus the great Packers offensive line, even without David Bakhtiari. Bucs get 3 or more sacks, or they're held to 1 sack of Aaron Rodgers. He was sacked 0 times last week in the win over the Rams, despite the presence of Aaron Donald, but 4 times against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 6. So what's more likely, 3 or more or 1?
Well, this is going to have to be an Aaron Rodgers throwing the football game. I haven't seen anybody run the ball on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all year long other than your Minnesota Vikings. They're the only team that's legitimately, consistently got to ran the ball on them all year. As good as the Packers' run game is, I don't know if I can sit here and think they're going to be able to run the ball successfully. I think it's going to have to be Aaron Rodgers to carry the team and win it. And like you said, the Bucs, their team, I mean, it's damn good. The only really weakness you can look at, and it's not even that weak, is that young secondary. That's all you can look at. The first time around, he got sacked 4 times, like you mentioned. And one thing, going back and watching that game, Mike, that stuck out to me, man, the Packers just kept calling deep throws down the field. Everything was deep, 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 deep. And he's sitting there patting the ball, and, of course, they're getting pressure every play. They never really adjusted. The Bucs, they've lost 5 games this year, and really 4 out of the 5 are against teams who threw the ball quick and got the ball out of their hands and picked apart their zone coverage. I'm going to go the Bucs get 3+ sacks. I am, because I think Rodgers and company are going to have to throw the football. I could see him getting sacked 4 times. I don't think it necessarily means they lose the game or anything like that, but I think he is going to have to throw the ball to win, so I'm going to go with the Bucs getting those 3 sacks.
And I love the subplot in this one with Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Rodgers told Pat McAfee earlier this week he doesn't expect much conversation with Suh. When they played in Week 6, it got a little chippy between the two of them,
Right.
and Rodgers thought they were going to talk after the game, and they didn't. And just be careful that Suh's feet don't get cold, because if they go numb, you never know where he's going to plant his cleats, Aaron Rodgers. So get up off the ground quickly and watch out for Suh's numb feet and the cleats attached to them. One more Bucs-Packers, actually a couple more. Tom Brady, more likely that he throws 3 or more touchdown passes or has 1 or more interception against the Green Bay Packers. No risk it, no biscuit, Chris.
I know.
How does that play out?
I know. They really become a team where it's, run the football, block it up, play action, pass. Brady's decision-making has been so damn good. I want to say the 3+ touchdown passes right off the bat, but the only thing that makes me back away from that a little bit is I just think they might run the ball in the end zone, a few times. That's where. So again, I wouldn't be shocked if both of these quarterbacks had 3 touchdown passes in this game. I don't think Brady's going to throw an interception. I'm going to go. You're making me pick. I'm going 3 touchdowns.
I'm going to say he's going to throw an interception. We forget about it once they win the game. There was a moment where he threw that out route that looked a lot like the one that was a pick 6 Week 1 against the New Orleans Saints.
Right.
And Marshawn Lattimore, I think it was, had a shot at it this time, and it bounced off his hands, and he had to lunge for it. It's not like he was going to grab it and go.
Right.
But there's just that, and I think this makes Tom Brady even more compelling. For as accomplished as he is, as skilled as he is, as smart as he is, there's that little glitch that will pop up from time to time that makes you say, what the hell? Because he's the last guy you expect it from. But he's got that propensity, and I don't know if he just gets a little lackadaisical, he gets a little complacent, he's not focused on every snap. But every once in a while, Chris, am I wrong?
No.
There's one of those, what in the hell? This is Tom Brady type of a moment.
I feel like yes, and especially when you talk about that and correlate it to this year, it's those moments where he's not comfortable. That's what I look at it, where he's just, we've talked about it on Sunday, where he can be a little, the start of the game, he's jumpy and he's kind of flinching and ducking in the pocket, and you're like, wait, nobody's around you, just relax. And that's where I feel like his mistakes have come all year long. But the Bucs have done an amazing job in making him feel comfortable. And we've seen less and less of that as the year went along, to where, you're right. I hear your point. It's always been there, but I don't know. I just don't see it happening this weekend with the way they're executing and playing on the offensive side.
That's a point that you brought to light for me a few years ago when Eli Manning was getting toward the end, and the clock accelerates because you're not getting the protection. You end up getting rid of the ball more quickly than you should, even when you don't have to.
Right.
And the more that the Bucs can protect Tom Brady, the more he can settle into that rhythm. And there's a rhythm to it. There's a sense to it. When the walls are closing, and you know when you need to move. You've been there and you've done it so many times. And if you feel rushed, if you feel like you're about to get splattered by a guy who's less than half your age, that's when maybe you make a throw that you shouldn't have made. All right, another one from Bucs-Packers, and this is the last one. What's more likely? Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, and Antonio Brown have over 15 combined receptions or under 10. And remember, we don't know what's going to happen with Antonio Brown. But last week, Evans, Gronk, and Brown had 1 catch each.
Yeah, this is this is a tough one here. It really is. What I do worry about as far as the Packers' defense in this game is them losing the battle at the line of scrimmage and then having to, put more assets into stopping the run game, and just it's too easy of a pass look for this Tampa Bay offense and things like that. But without Brown playing and everything, I'm going to go, under 10? That's ridiculous. I'm going to go 15 plus then. I am. I don't know. I can't go under 10. I just have a hard time thinking Mike Evans doesn't get around 7 or 8 receptions in this football game, and Gronkowski at least getting 3 or 4 to go along with it.
Especially after last week.
Yeah.
Right? Especially with only 1. Now, it was a touchdown, but I think Evans is going to be more focused and more determined. Gronk, I don't know. Gronk still looks like he's running in mud to me a little bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that explosion. But I think Evans, he's never been this far in his career. He's kind of had this quiet, early Hall of Fame type of an effort in the NFL, the only guy in NFL history with 7 straight seasons of 1,000 or more receiving yards. This is his moment. And this is what we see. We see guys rise up to the moment or not rise up to the moment. I have a feeling he's one of these guys who's going to rise up to the moment.
I think so, too. And I don't think the Green Bay Packers can play the same defense the New Orleans Saints did last week. You know, the greatness of what we talked about early in the week and what Tampa did was we never seen Bruce Arians be so patient with the run game and everything. You know, the Saints, because of their big D line, played like 2 deep the whole game. They basically just they were trying to call the Bucs bluff, and the Bucs called it back on them. They're like, all right, fine, we'll run it. We're not going to be scared of your D line. We got a big O line too. And that took away Evans in the passing game. I don't think the Packers can do that. I don't think they're good enough up front to be able to say, we can play 2 deep and our big guys will slow down the run game. They're going to have to get some one-on-one matchups, and it'll be on Jair Alexander and Kevin King to stop those Evans and Godwin and everything like that. So that's where I think they could have a big day passing.
Let's flip it now to the AFC. And when the Bills and Chiefs got together also in Week 6, it was one of those primetime games on a Tuesday night or a Monday night. I think it was the
first of a Monday night.
It was a Monday night, right? It was one of the doubleheaders. That night, the Chiefs rushed 46 times. It was tied for the most ever by an Andy Reid offense with the 2000 Eagles in Week 1. And it was the only time in Patrick Mahomes' career where Kansas City had more rushing yards, 245, than passing yards, 221. That's the buildup for this what's more likely. Kansas City rushing for more than 150 yards or under 100, playing that Bills defense for the second time.
Well, wait, no, you missed the first one with the Mahomes has over 350 passing yards or...
You know, but why don't you just go along with it? I did miss it, but if you just answer that one, then I'll pick that one up next. That's how it works.
Okay.
Don't put the whole brakes on this show.
All right. Don't take it so personal. I was just telling you. Don't worry. All right, fine. Casey runs for 1. We'll go to that
I'm not sitting here sipping pina coladas. I'm trying to work.
Okay. All right. Well, read better then, and then you'll work better. Casey runs for 150-plus rush yards or under 100 yards. I'm going under 100. I don't think Kansas City's going to play that same style of football again. You know, that was a part of the year where Buffalo's defense was beat up and everybody was running on them. You could basically run to the weak side on Buffalo, and you and me could have got 4 yards per carry every week against them. They had issues. They are not the same defense anymore, and I think Kansas City would be stupid to play that way again. I really do. You know, you kind of took the air out of the ball. You took the ball out of the best player on your team. So the Bills' defense much better than they were then, and I just can't imagine Kansas City running the ball 40 times in this type of game or the Bills letting that happen. So I'm going to go under 100.
Yeah, I would appreciate very much if you don't talk about taking the air out of the ball in advance of an AFC championship game.
I will. I'll do my best. Yes.
I really would like to avoid any of that conversation.
Okay.
I agree with you. The Chiefs are going to be under 100. Rushing. I think that you know the Bills are going to be ready for it. It's part of the chess match that's going to go on between Andy Reid and Sean McDermott. How much are they going to run? How much are they going to pass? And I also think that to the extent rushing yards may be contributed by Patrick Mahomes, I think they're going to be a little more careful with that this week, given the toe injury and given the concussion. All right, speaking of Patrick Mahomes and the topic that I inadvertently skipped as we pivoted to the AFC Championship game, Patrick Mahomes has over 350 passing yards or under 250. His third lowest of the season was 225 against the Bills in Week 6.
I'm going to go 350. I am. This is the Bills. They know they got to stop Patrick Mahomes and that type of stuff and all of that. You know, early in the year there, the Chiefs, they ran the ball, but really ever since that game too, they were in the process of realizing how to throw the short passing game and do some of that stuff more. It was very similar to the Bills, actually, to where I think they'll be able to run the short passing game. The Buffalo is going to have to take a few chances here and there. Yeah, I just think this is going to be a totally different game than the first time around. Where the first time around it was running, it was rainy, it was different. I think this game you're going to see both teams go, nope, our best players are our quarterbacks, and we might throw it every play, and that we're going down swinging with our best punch. So I'm going to go with the 350+.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's Patrick Mahomes, and it's legacy building time at an early stage of his career, the opportunity to get to a second Super Bowl. He's going to use his arm to get there, so I'll agree with you there. How about Josh Allen, your boy Blue, the Bills quarterback? What's more likely? He has over 350 or under 250 passing in this game against the Chiefs?
Oh,
He had 122.
I know.
Against the Chiefs when they played in Week 6.
I know. The Chiefs' defense is better to me than the Bills. You know, the Chiefs can play coverage and do those things and let their big guys up front stop the run, even though the Bills don't run the ball that much anyways, and I don't expect them to do that here in this week. But again, under 250 to me is just, I don't see that happening. These are two guys that, you know, they can get 250 on 3 throws, where you could be sitting there going, oh, we're holding them in check, and all of a sudden things explode in the third quarter, and you go, whoa, they threw for 250 in the third quarter. So I think, again, if I'm going to pick either one here, and where the Buffalo Bills offense has been executing, you've talked about so much how Josh Allen's just got an aura of, like, you're not going to beat me and all that. I think they're going to throw the ball every damn play this week, too, for the most part. So I'm going over 350 for him, too.
Okay, so then I have a feeling I know the answer to the next one, and I agree with you. It's good. And part of me is trying to kind of speak and wish it into existence.
I hope
we
so,
have
yeah,
both
right?
quarterbacks over 350.
Mike, let me ask you
Stephon
this.
Diggs.
Oh, I was just
Go
going to say with the quarterback conversation, because he talked about like Rodgers and Brady and that dynamic there. You know, I don't know. This is just me, the football fanboy, Mahomes, Allen. You know I love both of them. I think we both do. Allen, I guess, has more pressure on him, right, here in this situation. Like, Mahomes doesn't have pressure on him. But I do feel like Mahomes is slightly threatened by Josh Allen. I don't know why. When I hear him talk about him, Josh Allen challenging him to the long throw competition and all those things, when I hear him ask questions about Josh Allen, I feel like he doesn't talk as nicely as he does maybe with other quarterbacks. I just wonder if that's a real element. I feel like Josh Allen, the first time around, he felt the pressure of, whoa, this is a primetime game, and I need to be as good as Patrick Mahomes, and he missed some throws and do all that. But I just find that to be an interesting dynamic of these two. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I think the pressure is squarely on Mahomes.
You do.
They're the team that's the defending champions.
Yeah,
They're at
right.
home, right? Josh, the Bills have already exceeded what
very true.
anyone's reasonable expectations could have been. They're on house money. And something about them changed coming out of the bye week after they lost to the Cardinals in the Hail Murray. They had the 4 straight nationally televised games, big platform. They were beating the crap out of everybody. Now they've had 2 more playoff games in isolated windows. They're comfortable with this moment. I think that there's more pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And if your perception is right, that he feels a little threatened by Josh Allen, we could see a little of that Patrick Mahomes trying to do too much.
That's what I think about.
That's what could make things problematic for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's why I kind of brought it up. I think about that with both of these quarterbacks, where even if like Mahomes got up, Josh Allen might be like, I got to match him. And now he's trying to throw lasers into triple coverage down the football field. Something interesting. And when you're used to being the man, and no, I'm the most young, talented guy, I'm the unicorn, you know, and then you start to go, wait, somebody else is calling another guy a unicorn? They think he's a unicorn.
Mirror on the wall.
Right. That's when it gets personal, when you start to go, wait, I want to beat this team and be in the Super Bowl, but I also want to beat this damn quarterback and show everybody too. That's just something that jumps out to me.
Hey, and something we talked about recently, and there is a very real vibe that is beginning to make the rounds in the NFL, that if you had to pick between Allen and Mahomes for the next 10 years, a surprisingly high number of people are saying Allen, whispering Allen, because we've already been conditioned to think Mahomes is going to be the greatest of all time when he's done, and he very well may be, and I hope he is. But people are seeing what Josh Allen has done this year in his 3rd season and saying, holy crap, the way he throws, the way he moves. And you know, I've been told there's a fundamental difference when you see it live.
Yes.
With Josh Allen.
Many people say that.
When you're in the building and you see it happening live and how he moves and how he can roll right and throw back to the left on a laser. And it's just so much more impressive live. That's what's causing people who attend games and that's what because people are like, oh, come on, it's Patrick Mahomes. What are you talking about? Every time I turn on the TV, there's Patrick Mahomes eating green beans with Troy Polamalu.
Right.
Josh Allen can't be. No, it's the gap is closer than people would think, and maybe the guy who didn't get to be the top dog for very long is already feeling the heat.
Well, I mean, I doubt that quite yet, but I think he recognizes talent, and he watches every game of everything. I mean, he's always tweeting, doesn't matter what sporting event. So I'm sure he's watched Josh Allen and gone, whoa, this guy's a little threatening to me. He's damn talented, and he does a lot of the damn stuff I do. Mahomes is cooler and slicker and things like that, but Mike, consistently over the last year, I've heard that from a number of coaches to what you're saying. You know, I didn't realize he was this good until I turned on the film. I just didn't realize it. And then, whoa, I mean, hey, have you ever seen Josh Allen in person? Man, you know, again, he's a much bigger man than Mahomes, and he's just as fast and as quick. And his arm is every bit as strong. He might not be as cool and as slick and do the sidearm stuff quite as much, but I like you said, to echo your point, I think it's more of a conversation in NFL circles than maybe the casual fan realizes.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.